please direct your question to the proper player or captain or vice captain, and things will flow rather smoothly. Let's begin. Let's go straight back, number 4, please.
Just a couple of questions. Rory, first for you. I was on the course for all 17 holes yesterday afternoon. I have to say I was embarrassed to be an American with what was going on. My question for you is, why should we not expect to see this same thing show up 2 years from now, as the Europeans would have a natural tendency to want to retaliate? And then my second question for anybody who would like to answer, if there is a concern about this kind of behavior, what is the solution? I know Darren and Lee and several of you were at Brookline when it took a player, Payne Stewart, to step in with Monty on the back 9 on Sunday and say, I'm going to shield you through the round. What do we need to prevent this becoming a part of the competition?
Well, I think definitely, first and foremost, we wouldn't encourage any sort of retaliation. That's just not who we are. It's not what we do. There won't be, and we'll be making that clear. We want to play this tournament in the manner in which it should be played. And between us, the 12 players and vice captains and captains on this team, and between the 12 players on the US team, it was played in the manner in which it should have been played. We have no problems with anyone on either team. And really, it's just a very small minority that, 95% of the people out there, the American gallery, are absolutely fantastic. They really are. And we play week in, week out on the PGA Tour, and they couldn't be nicer to us. They're welcoming. They greet us like we're one of their own. But this week, at times, it has went a little bit too far. But that's to be expected. When we're teeing off at 7:35 in the morning, and you're seeing people on the first tee with a beer in their hand, and matches aren't finishing until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I know I'd be done by that point, so I don't know what I'd be saying. So, it has to be expected. So, it is what it is. It happened this week. A couple of people out there crossed the line, but, we'll take it on the chin, we'll move on, and we'll definitely not encourage anything like that to happen in France next time around.
Okay, can I just say something as well? And you referenced Payne Stewart there. And fair play to Bubba Watson and the 2 lads that myself and Danny were playing yesterday afternoon. They were trying to cut all that off, and they were doing their bit to stop that yesterday as well. So I think the US team were as embarrassed about those comments that were coming as you were. And on a good point, I got called a turd yesterday, which is the first time since I was about 12 years old. So it made me feel young again.
But I think, just following up from that, I think it wasn't just your group, Lee, because I was floating about with a lot of guys and a lot of matches and watching it, and every US player and every US caddy were trying to do the same thing. They were trying to calm some of those few idiots down that were out there, and I think on behalf of us all, we have to give massive respect to Davis, his vice captains, and his team and his caddy, for the way that they tried to police it on our behalf.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go over here to number 1, please.
Question for Rory here. If you could maybe speak to just the emotions of that match with Patrick, your struggles on the back 9, and the difficulty of losing it as the first match of the day, as a sort of a statement match, if you will, for the Americans.
Yeah, for sure. I think all the energy that I've expended this week, it sort of caught up with me on the back 9 today. It probably caught up with me on the back 9 yesterday as well, playing with Thomas. But look, I wanted to try and take the bull by the horns and try and, there's a lot of leaders in this team. It isn't just me. There's a whole lot of guys here that have got more experience than me. But I wanted to go out there and try to lead by example and give off the right energy and try to put blue on the board as much as possible. And I felt like I succeeded somewhat, definitely because of a great partner I had in Thomas, but I tried to do the same thing today, but I just ran out of steam on the back 9. I felt, not physically, but mentally, just a little, I was trying to summon up energy. I was trying to do everything I could. I was, taking on loads of fluids and trying to eat plenty and just trying to give it my all, just one last round of golf before I have a little bit of time off, and it just wasn't meant to be. But that wasn't. I mean, Patrick played incredibly well all week, and you know, there's not really much more I could have done. I mean,
you're still awesome.
Maybe if I would have been 10 under like Sergio out there today, I might have been able to get a half like he did. But yeah, I mean, I tried my best. I tried my best for this team, for these group of guys around me, and it just wasn't meant to be today. But you know, that'll galvanize us. That'll make us stronger to come back in Paris. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see a very similar team set up in 2018, and we try to get this thing back.
Let's go number 2, front left, please.
For Rory or any of the other guys, if drinking was at the heart of the problem, should we tighten up the drinking rules? Maybe not have people drinking at 7:30 in the morning.
No.
Quite thirsty then.
Not with their pissy beer. No, I think they'll be all right.
Were you more thinking if everyone have a beer?
No, like people are here. They're here to have a good time, and I mean, I don't know how you could police that or limit that in any way. I mean, telling people they can't drink until 11 o'clock in the morning, they're just going to go and buy 6 beers. You know, it's like you can't do anything about that. People are here to have a good time. Geez, I know if I was watching a Ryder Cup, I'd want to do the same thing. I mean, I'd love to be on the other side of the ropes giving people abuse. It'd be so good, but unfortunately I have to play inside the ropes, and that's a great privilege to have, but I'm not sure there's any way you can police that.
4 on the far left, please.
Okay, for maybe Rory or Sergio or any of the guys, really.
Someone else, not me.
All right, Sergio. All the talk about the crowd and kind of giving it to you guys all week, but how did you feel the atmosphere was today? Did you feel it maybe was a little bit better today in the singles matches?
I don't know if I'm the right guy to get that question.
Right, someone else, go. Justin, go on.
No, but I can handle it.
Trying to do you a favor here.
Nah, it's okay. Today was definitely a little bit better, I would say. Obviously, I definitely know I haven't won a major.
I definitely know I haven't won it.
Good. Very good.
You sure?
Very good.
Yeah, I mean, if I felt like maybe I dreamed about it one day and I thought I had a major, I definitely know I don't have it. I've been reminded of it plenty of times. But I do have 5 Ryder Cups with some amazing teams, and I'm very proud of that. And I wouldn't give any one of them away for major. And the only thing I can do is hopefully change that up. So then next time we come to the US, they'll tell me, oh, you only have 1 major or something like that, which will sound a little bit better. But it's okay. You know, at the end of the day, I love the Ryder Cup. There's nothing like it. I loved every minute of it. Even all the bombs that Phil was making on me. But you know, it was another great week and so many great things that I will never forget.
One of the other things that I just interject here as well is that obviously as captain you try and float around and follow as many groups as you can. And with the Rory and Patrick Reed match, I was following them obviously because that had a huge sort of bearing on the whole thing for momentum early. And Rory had led up on 16 and he was taking his practice swing and got into it, and he was about to take a swing to hit it, and some guy shouted in the middle of his backswing, and the whole crowd turned on the guy and pointed who he was out to security. The whole crowd that were over there, and that guy was swiftly ejected, and that was all done by the American fans. So as we keep coming back to, if you keep bringing up the crowd, it's only the odd person that created the whole assassin. And while it was unsavory and not the right thing to do, 99.9% of the crowd went pointed straight at the guy and he was taken away. So the crowd deserve a lot of credit for their policing of the situation as well.
All right, we're going to go to number 1 on the far right, please.
Yeah, a question for Darren and Justin. This is the last scheduled major event for Hazeltine for many, many years, probably for at least 7 to 10 years. How do you think the course and the setting presented itself this week, and what do you think of it as a venue somewhere down the road 8, 10 years from now for another PGA or US Open?
I hope it has more rough, just to say, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to play here in 2002 and 2009, I think it was, and I think they've shifted the nines around, which always creates a little bit of havoc in your memory of the golf course. But you know, having played 2 tournaments here, it was kind of still, even this week, trying to sort of get my head around the layout and remember all the holes was definitely a big part of the early part of the week. And you know, setup-wise, I mean, this course can be as tough as you want it to be. There's no doubt about it. I think today, if we were all to be honest about it, I thought the setup was incredibly weak. I thought it was very much a pro-am feel in terms of the pin placements. They were all middle of the green. I don't quite understand that, to be honest with you. World-class players, 12 world-class players here and 12 world-class players in here in 30 minutes' time. And we want to showcase our skills. We want to be tested. We want to, you know, for example, the water holes out there. All the pins were as far away from the water as possible. I mean, the pin on 17 is an absolute, you know, a joke. It's a 9-iron into the middle of the green and you stiff it. You know, so with a match on the line, you kind of feel like you want to have something. You want to play to step up a little bit more than they have to. And even 18, if you hit a good drive down there, you got a wedge into the green. If you hit a wedge into the middle of the green, you're within 12 foot of the pin. So I just felt like coming down the stretch was a little soft.
And I'm hoping it's a seniors major in 10 years' time.
Thanks. Straight back number 4, please.
Not me.
Yeah, not quite.
This question is for Justin and maybe Ian as well, since we haven't really heard Ian from you very much this week.
We have.
That is amazing.
Unfortunately, we have, yeah.
You haven't.
Lucky
we have.
you.
The Americans have imitated a lot of what has made your team so successful. Are you concerned that they're onto your secret sauce and that this could be the start of a long streak, an American streak of winning 5 or 6 out of 7?
What?
Go on, Paul.
I guess I'm taking this one. Am I
Paul's
right? What's the recipe of that secret sauce? I think I just looked at a tweet right now, which
You weren't checking Twitter, really?
Of course I was. Of course.
You never do.
Show me secret sauce. Come on.
No, I'm not. No, the guys brought you this week, and you know, unfortunately, we were outplayed, outputted. We've done it in years past, and hats off to the American team. It was impressive. It was impressive to watch. I watched Rory and Patrick today, and I'm sure that's what you're alluding to. You know, Patrick pumping up the crowd like he should. It was a credit to the pair of them to watch them play golf the way they played today. And for you guys that were out there watching, you know, I'm sure we'll read it in the papers tomorrow. It was very, very impressive. You know, Patrick's one of those guys who gets intense. And so's Rory. And I think that's all in the spirit of the game. It's in spirit of the Ryder Cup. It was played in the right manner between the players. And, you know, it was a good week. Unfortunately, we just didn't have it.
Number 1 on the right, please.
This is for Sam Torrance. Sam.
Yes, he's here.
Come on, Samuel.
In 1985, when you made the winning putt, can you talk about what that meant for European Ryder Cup? And did you ever think it would evolve into this long history of success?
I hoped so. Yeah, it was a great moment for me, but it was a moment for the team. It meant that we won for the first time in a while, and we've been growing for years, the European team. We've become very, very strong over the last 20 years. We lost this week, but we will be back. And yes, I did think it would get this big. It felt this big 30 years ago, let me tell you.
Straight back number 4, please.
Question for Danny. With everything that happened early, just over here.
Straight back.
There we go. With everything that happened earlier in the week and then the result today and your match today, how would you describe your overall first Ryder Cup experience?
Shit.
You can say it louder, but not
I can only
clearer.
be honest. Sorry, would you like me to elaborate? Really shit.
All right, let's go to number 3, please.
I don't know how I follow that. A question for Rory. After Glen Eagles in 2014, over here to your right
Yes,
a little
yeah,
bit.
sorry, yeah.
After
Yeah.
Glen Eagles in 2014, the Americans sort of threw their coach under the bus and appointed a task force. You guys clearly aren't throwing Darren under the bus. I don't.
Hopefully not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll leave
Not
if
yet.
you want me to. It's fine. If you.
And I don't think there's probably going to be a task force appointed. What are some of the sort of positives you take out of the week, despite not having one?
There's plenty of positives to take. I sort of alluded to it earlier, but we have on these two rows of tables a group that have gotten much closer over the past 7 days, and a group that you could possibly see all of us again in the Ryder Cup in 2 years' time. I mean, I've got a partner beside me for the next 20 years. I'm not letting anyone else have him. But I think there has been positives to take going into Paris in 2 years' time. Some of the new blood that we had, they've gotten over their first Ryder Cup, and now they know what it's about, and they know what they're going to expect next time. And we'll go to Paris with a more experienced squad and a squad that knows what it feels like, and we'll have great leadership again. I think the great culture of the European team is, you look at Sam's obviously being a Ryder Cup captain, and you have guys that have been involved in the team for such a long time, and I think that's a huge I'm not trying to give anything away here, but that's one of the big parts of our success, is that we keep a core group of players and people in the team and around the team, and they know they've seen it all before, they've done it all before, and that's what we plan to do in a couple of years' time. But look, it is disappointing, and I wish we could have the feeling that we had in Glen Eagles 2 years ago, but it'll make it that much better when we have that feeling again in Paris.
Time for a couple more. Number 1 on the right, please.
Hey guys, question for the European rookies at the front. How did you find the Ryder Cup? Was it what you expected it to be?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Sorry, you said rookies.
Go on, Rafa.
Okay, I'll go. For me, it's been a really good week. In a way, it's kind of ruined every other tournament I'm gonna play from now on. It's been really exciting. Getting to share so many moments with all my teammates, learning from the veterans, and also just being out there competing not for us as an individual, but for something so much greater than us. It was a very, very good, very huge honor, and it's really been a life-changing week for me.
2 more. Number 1 and then 3. 1, please.
Can I ask Thomas, please? You've had an amazing personal week. Could you talk us through how it's been for you, and if there's any particular highlight out of all your performances?
Well, it's a team effort. So we all win and we all lose. So I did play good this week, but unfortunately we lost. And like Rory said, hopefully we'll be back with the same team in 2 years' time.
And number 3, please.
Yeah, a funny question to the captain. 2 years later, would you consider some French players? We would like to listen some French.
Well, thankfully, I won't be captain in 2 years' time. So I'm sure with the amount of talent that we have coming through on the European Tour, there will be some of the French guys coming through. You take a look at Alexander Levy a couple of weeks ago. He played fantastic. He won comfortably. So there's gonna be quite a few of the French guys pushing for that place. But whoever makes that team in Paris, will be a very strong team again for the European Tour. And as Rory rightly says, it could be exactly the same guys lining up again when it comes to Paris. But if there is a French national in there, then that would be wonderful as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Ryder Cup Europe team. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank
Please
you,
travel
guys.
safely back.
Thank you.
Come visit again.